So, yeah. I don't even know what to talk what to intro this video with because it's the Clash. And the Clash was the Clash. I guess let's just talk about the Clash.
And the 3-car makes contact with the 66. They're going to be bumper to bumper, side by side, at the line. 77 wins it.
The 31 wins it.
Dodge Dakota is your Fire Cup Series champion.
So, I just got done watching the 2020 Busch Clash. I'm not even really sure at this point what I've seen today. All I know is it was entertaining from a fan's perspective to watch absolute mess of a race go on lap after lap after lap for the final 10, 20 laps. But, sure, the first half of this race, if you want to see competitive racing and people actually trying to basically just maintain position and work fuel mileage, then yeah, that's pretty good. But then with 10 laps to go, all reason was thrown out the window. We had Joey Logano and Kyle Busch tangle up in a wreck and piles in Brad Keselowski. Then we also had a restart wreck of people getting loose while going 80 miles an hour. I've driven probably that fast on the highway at one point or not. So, I've driven that fast. I can handle it. They couldn't, apparently, and they spun out and caused another big one. Then there was another big one involving Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. Very similar to the first incident with Kyle Busch and Joey Logano. Just this time there was less cars around, so they had less room to kind of bounce, or they had more room to kind of just slide and bounce. Piling in, I think, another 5-6 cars. We also had the wreck with Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott, where Chase Elliott was hammering on the back bumper of the 11, and the 11 went round, causing that kind of issue. So, yet another incident that collected another 8-9 cars, and we finished with 6 cars finishing the race, and this car right here that won the race. That car has no business winning this race. That car should be in a junkyard, considering the looks of it, but that is Eric Jones's winning car. So it was Eric Jones, Denny Hamlin, 1-2 in this race. I don't know how they pulled that off. Bowyer was still in there somewhere. Newman, Dillon, Larson, and there's your entire finishing field. Out of the race, we had MTJ, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, Jimmy Johnson, Alex Bowman, William Byron, Kevin Harvick, Amarola was out of it. Yeah. We started with a field of 18, we finished with a field of 6. A lot of guys finished up wrecked. Amarola, DNF'd, still got a top 10 finish. Which, that was half the field size. So if we double the field size, that means that we should expect to see roughly 12 cars finish the race in Daytona for the 500. If this were an accurate representation, I feel like the Daytona 500 might be cleaner than this, just because the Clash, no one really cares. It's not about protecting points, because, sure, I get the Daytona 500 isn't exactly about protecting points. It's about going for the Daytona 500 win. But there are definitely going to be guys protecting points during that race. And there might even be some guys protecting points during the 500 during the duels, as Suarez needs to qualify in still, but that'll be in my recap, or my Daytona 500 preview video, which I'm still working on, just kind of been a little slow at getting clips together and whatnot, because I need 43 clips. I'm probably going to have some shorter clips in there, but yeah, so we've got that video. I promise you guys I am working on it. It should be done relatively soon, so yeah, we've got that mess of a race, though, to talk about, because I promised you guys I would talk about the Busch Clash. So my opinions on kind of all these wrecks, it's like, okay, racing incident for the Larson Elliott wreck And I will say the exact same thing for the Logano Kyle Busch wreck. I cannot place blame on either one of them because I can't pinpoint what either one of them did wrong. Kyle Busch had a massive run and with 10 laps to go and he wasn't lifting. Logano, 10 laps to go, he's blocking. I mean, there is nothing, I can see nothing that I would do differently if I was either of those two. Virtually the exact same thing for Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott had a run, he was going to go for it. Larson blocked with like 2 laps to go. Or with like a lap and a quarter to go. I cannot blame him for trying to win the race. With the Byron Newman slide, spin, whatever happened on the restart, I don't know where to place the blame on that one. I mean, the track. We'll throw the track as the fault for that one, because I got no idea what caused those two cars to both simultaneously lose control coming through the tri-oval at around about 85 miles an hour probably at that point. I mean, they were nowhere near the high speed, and there's no way the wind was strong enough to affect those cars. So I got no idea what happened on that restart. Maybe someone that's watching this video is some kind of aerodynamicist that can tell me why those cars spun out the way they did. My guess would be maybe old tires on the cars and them trying to speed up too quickly and getting loose. But even then, it just seemed so weird to see 2 cars simultaneously do it when we don't usually see. I mean, we've seen plenty of restarts before on old tires, and we've never seen cars have this much trouble getting up to speed before. I actually initially thought it was from Boyer shoving Byron initially, but yeah, or Newman blocking, because when I first kind of just heard that it was Newman, it's like, oh, well, Newman blocking on a restart, I guess there wasn't really much to block there. So yeah, I don't even know what to throw that one to. The Hamlin-Elliott one, I mean, that's 5 laps to go. That's Chase Elliott really wanting to get by, basically doing the knock-knock thing. Bit over-aggressive, I would say, for Elliott, but then again, it's 5 laps to go in a race. He's going to go for it. So I can't really place blame on any driver for doing something wrong necessarily, except for I guess in that case Chase Elliott laying back and waiting, getting another run, especially with 5 laps to go. You're probably going to get another run on them. But yeah, Denny Hamlin on the second to last restart with a lap down gets the caution flag and gets back on the lead lap. Finishes second to Eric Jones in the race. The 2 most damaged cars in the race finish 1-2. I mean, which storyline should I take out of the race? The top 2, the most damaged cars to finish a race in history? Probably not, but I'm sure NASCAR and Fox will say that even if it isn't true. That Eric Jones wins another mess of a race after winning the 2018 Coke Zero 400. Which storyline do you take from this race? It was in no way a good look for a sport that is trying to promote themselves as we have the best drivers in the world. It was in no way a good look for the sport in that regard. But for a sport like NASCAR, where wrecks have been ingrained in the entire history, especially around the Daytona International Speedway, a race like this where you can't really place blame on any one person for it, because like in the Coke Zero 400, very similar type of race, but everybody could place blame on one singular guy, which made it a lot more of a black eye on that one guy rather than it just being a mess for the fun of it. But this is what I feel like the Clash should be, is a mess of a race, to be honest. I mean, sure, I don't like the fact that it's costing a lot of these teams money, but to be honest, the teams, they don't have to enter a car in it. I mean, they are not required to. Daniel Suarez and Gaunt Brothers Racing, great call for them to not enter a car in this Daytona Clash, because they didn't want to tear up another race car, and they're already preparing 4 cars for the Daytona 500 and the Las Vegas swing. So, I mean, the teams, they aren't required to participate, and I guess if the entry list drops to a point where it's not going to be a good race for NASCAR, I guess they can choose when it's time to cut it. But I mean, there is nothing requiring Hendrick Motorsports, Joe Gibbs Racing, or any of these other teams to pay the money to build a race car for these exhibition races. And if it becomes unfeasible for the teams, then the teams don't have to race it, and the race might disappear off the schedule, even if it's only for a little bit. So, in the end, though, I like this race just for the sheer chaos of it. I know that a lot of people are going to have their own opinions on this race, and I would love to hear them down in the comment section below. But yes, this race, the Busch Clash 2020, it happened. It was a mess. After 10 laps to go. But yeah, first 65 laps weren't even worth talking about, but the final 10 laps plus 3 overtime attempts. Yeah, it was a fun race to watch, so I really enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think down below. I promised you guys a Busch Clash video. There's your Busch Clash video. Thank you guys all for watching. Remember to check out the rest of the Running with the Pack 2020 season, and we will see you guys in a few days here with the Daytona 500 preview video. So thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye!